Nicole Cleland was involved in the most horrific accident I had ever been involved with as a lawyer. As a result of a drunk driver crashing into her car, she lost 2 children, her unborn child and her 7-year-old daughter in the back seat of the car. Nicole's body was crippled. The first time I ever met Nicole, she was in the hospital incapacitated. It took many months for her to even be able to walk, even with a severe limp, even to today. We had to fight the insurance companies to make sure she got the appropriate care she needed. I never gave up on Nicole, and I never will. I am so proud that we were able to represent her and her family. Here's her story.
I remember the whole accident. I was awake and aware for everything, all the way up until they knocked me out in the ambulance. And the car was spinning, and all of a sudden all the noise rushes in, and the ambulance is there, and the fire trucks are there, and there's people talking, and just kept asking, how are the kids? And I could hear the baby crying, and I couldn't hear my middle daughter saying anything. So I kept asking about her, and they kept trying to divert my attention. Just worry about getting out of the car. Don't worry about, we're working on her. Don't worry about her. She's going to be okay. And I think I probably knew then that things weren't good because I knew that they were trying to divert my attention. I was in the hospital for a month. I was in a nursing home for 6 months. I was non-weight bearing for 4 months. I had a bar in my hips for 3. My pelvis and spine separated, my hips crushed, a lot of internal injuries, broken foot, broken ankle, pretty much crushed from the rib cage down. This wasn't just your typical a drunk driver a guy went out to a bar and he got drunk and left, and there was more to it than that. There was a lot of negligence on the bar's fault as far as employees had gone to the manager asking them to cut the guy off. And the manager didn't take that into consideration. He told them to keep serving him. And so for us, it was more about making changes in policies and following the laws that were in place than how much money we could get out of it. Nothing's going to bring back our daughter. No amount of money was going to make this right. It was really my husband and my family that made the decision to start seeking out a lawyer before I was even conscious enough to really know what was going on. And so that's what they did. They interviewed pretty much tons of lawyers, probably hundreds of lawyers. I mean, they spent days upon days just interviewing all day long, people in and out. When Jack came in, Jack didn't come in saying, these were my past cases, this is how much money I'm going to get you. It was, how are you doing? What can I do for you? It was more about us than the almighty dollar. And that's what really drew us in, because he cared more about how we were feeling and what we wanted than how much money he could bring us. Jack came over and held my hand and talked to us, and it wasn't all law. It wasn't all, we're going to get this and this and this, and we're going to make them pay. It was, how are you doing? What can I do for you? What can we help you with? What do you want to see out of this? And that's why we decided to hire Jack. There was a point when I was in the nursing home where they were talking about my insurance cutting off, and the nursing home was going to send me off somewhere else. And we called Jack, and Jack immediately talked to them and got things straightened out. And so, I mean, he just, every little concern that we had, he was there and fixed it. I mean, we met with the owners of the bar. They sat across from the table in Jack's office and cried about the fact that they have grandchildren the age of the daughter that we lost, and asked what we wanted out of it and what policy changes we wanted. And I don't know that would have happened with a different lawyer. I don't know that we would have ever had a face-to-face meeting with the owners of the bar, and been able to express exactly what we wanted to have done. And that's really what it was about for us. You know, we wanted them to apologize publicly, which we weren't sure was ever going to happen because it's a big place and it was a big apology that they were going to have to make. And Jack made it happen. I mean, it was satisfying that they admitted guilt, but it's never going to change the outcome. And hopefully it saves somebody else from having to go through what we've gone through. He calls or texts just to see how we're doing or if there's anything we need, or yeah, he's become a family friend. I always just say, if you need a good lawyer, I've got one for you. I couldn't be happier at our decision to pick Jack.
We spent a lot of time, money, and effort on behalf of Nikki and her family. Due to this effort, we made the Hofbräu House pay for its mistake. We were able to provide the financial security for Nikki and her family. More importantly, we made the Hofbräu House change their policies in the hopes that this never happens to another family again. I'm very proud of the fact that Nikki and I still stay in touch today, and I consider her a friend.